Get ready.
This is the voice of Wayne America.
Lighten up, Francis.
With your host,
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Mike Carnes.
How do you measure yourself with other golfers?
By height.
Only at WayneAmerica.com.
The supernova's gonna kill us all.
Okay, this guy is the real zero, that's true. Let's just think back when you guys were freshmen, huh?
.com.
Hello and welcome to the Voice of Wayne America podcast, an exclusive here on WayneAmerica.com. I'm Mike Carnes, your host for everything that is the best town in all of America, and that is right here in Wayne America. And I want to thank our sponsors at Providence Medical Center. They are sponsors of the program here, and we'll talk about them here a little bit. There's a changing of the guard coming up at Wayne Community Schools starting next year. Mark Hansen has been the principal at Wayne High School for well over a decade, I believe about 15 years or so, and he has decided that retirement and all that comes with that is the thing for him at this point in his life. And so the Wayne Community Schools Board of Education recently hired his replacement, and they didn't have to go far to find him. They just had to go up a couple blocks over to the elementary school, and they have chosen Tucker Hight as the new high school principal. He will take over the duties there starting in the 2019-20 school year. It seems hard to believe that we're talking about 2020 now already. It's already 1/5 of the way through a new century. But Tucker's with us here on the program today to talk about the upgrade he will be experiencing as the new high school principal. We'll talk a little about his education career and what has gotten him to this point in his professional career. Tucker, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mikey.
You bet. I guess let's start off with tell us about yourself, where you grew up, how you got to Wayne in the first place.
Perfect. Well, I originally grew up in a small town in Scotland, South Dakota. It's about a half an hour northwest of Yankton, so it's not too far up in South Dakota, but it's a small town. I went to school at USD, where I started playing football for a couple years, and I actually started my major in math education. And I got through most of math education. I just realized that I wanted to work with a different population of students, a smaller group. My brother has Down syndrome, and so that got me into special education. So I changed my major to special education and elementary education, and that's kind of where I fell in love and got into the education field. I graduated from USD actually in December, but I was lucky enough to get my first job starting in January as a full-time teacher in Hardington. So I taught 7-12 special education in Hardington. But I was only there for a semester. And the 9-12 special ed job opened up here in Wayne, and I applied for that, and I was lucky enough to be offered that position. And so I taught 9-12 special education here in Wayne for 4 years. The reason I wanted to get kind of back in Wayne is my wife is originally from Wayne, and she grew up.
Your wife's name is?
Michaela. My wife's name is Michaela. Michaela Weber is her maiden name, and so we just kind of, this is the area we kind of wanted to be, and that's kind of how I got to Wayne, I suppose, just because of she's from here, and we like this area, and just the opportunities that were available during that time.
Now you were special ed at the high school for 4 years,
Yep.
and now you're at the elementary.
Yeah, yep. After that first year of being a special education teacher at the high school, I knew I wanted to move into administration. I wanted to impact a larger population of students, and so I knew administration was the route to go. And so I got my administrative degree from Wayne State. And then I was lucky enough that Wayne Community Schools was opening up an assistant elementary principal and assistant special education director position, and kind of a starter administrator position, if you say. And I accepted that position, and I've done that for the last 4 years. But I've always wanted to get back to the high school age population. I've always loved that age group. I was able to motivate them very well and relate to them, and I always wanted to get back to the high school, and I was lucky enough to accept this position and get back up there.
Yeah. Now, when this position came up, how long did it take you to get your resume to document it?
Well, I was a little shocked just because Mr. Hansen's been here for 15 years, and I thought he had another year or two in him, and but he decided to retire, and so I had it prepared and ready to go, and I was eager, and I got it in there. I think some other people got it in there a little bit faster than I did, just because they've been looking, and I wasn't I wasn't expecting the position to be open this soon, obviously, but no, I got it in and got it in there just because I was excited for it.
Yeah, well that'd be pretty nice to know that that you're the new guy. And I'm sure that the day that the school board made that decision was probably a pretty good day for you.
It was really good. It was like a weight lifted off your shoulders. You just knew that you could just breathe and kind of finish off your job down here, doing a really good job. Let Mr. Hansen do a really good job ending his career up there, and then kind of just roll into it next year. And so, no, it was a great just feeling and sigh of relief after everything. The process was done.
Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about your interest in special education. And I know that a lot of people who go into education have some kind of experience in their lives that kind of lead them in that direction. I know my daughter has an education degree of her own, and she kind of got that idea from her aunt who was a teacher, and her grandpa who was a teacher as well, and she kind of wanted to impact people in some way. She had originally thought about nursing, but all the blood and guts and the stuff that go along with that didn't necessarily appeal to her as much. But how did your inspiration with your family member with Down syndrome, how did that impact you?
See, my wife, she grew up from a family in education, so it was an easy decision for her to get into education. But I had no family members in education, and so it was kind of just a new route that I wanted to go into. Like I said, my brother had Down syndrome, and just growing up, he's 7 years older than I am, and I just saw that he wasn't able to access some of the same extracurricular events or just be offered the same things that other students. And so I just wanted to be that person that advocates for students that are just things come harder for them or just aren't as able to get access to things as everybody else. So I just want to be that person that advocates them, and that's why I wanted to get into special education, just because I just enjoy working with students with disabilities, and it's just a passion of mine.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, is what it's been like to work with kids who have those disadvantages, I guess is what you can call them. Working with those kids and seeing those kids grow and develop.
No, it's great, because some of the growths are really, really large, and some of them are just really, really small growths. But they're in reality they're really big, and so it's great seeing those and celebrating those, and the looks on their faces and the looks on the teachers and paras faces that are working with those students as well. Because I know all the teachers and paras that work with special education population students really care about them, and that's one thing I love about Wayne. We have a very inclusive environment here at Wayne. I know Mrs. Varley has the life skills program up at the high school, and I see the kids interacting with the kids in her classroom, and they're just wonderful. We have spring sprints coming up here in May 3rd, and just all the kids that come from the elementary school and the high school and run around the track with the kids that are participating in that. It's a great thing to see that Wayne just is so inclusive with their special education population. Yeah,
the spring sprints are always a lot of fun, and I tell you what, it's one of those events that if you don't walk away from that smiling, then something's wrong with you, because it's just such a neat day for everybody involved. What have you been able to do here during your time as special education coordinator at the elementary school? What are some of the things you're seeing here?
Yeah, like I mentioned, Mrs. Varley has a life skills program at the high school, and so she has the 712 life skills program up there, and then Mr. Mayo has the 712 more academic side. And down here at the elementary, we just see a lot of different shifts in our population as well, academic needs and behavioral needs. And so down here at the elementary, we also kind of shifted to more of a life skills program, K6 life skills program, and then kind of 2 academic programs. And so I was kind of instrumental on helping guide Mrs. Peterson into creating that K6 life skills program, so we're able to meet the needs of those students and getting them what they need out of education, and so they're ready to go up to Mrs. Varley when they head up there. That's one of my biggest impacts, is just creating that kind of life skills program down here at the elementary school as well.
Yeah, when you're looking at a student who is maybe or maybe not a special needs student, what do you look for in a student to determine whether they qualify for something like that?
Just every kid's just kind of individual, just kind of basic needs, whether it's if they need some work with some life skills with grooming, or more of job skills and how to obtain a job, or fill out job applications, and just academic needs along those lines. So kind of it just depends. Every kid's a little bit different, and so.
Yeah, that's got to be the challenge, because like I said, every kid is different, and every kid comes from a different setup, and I'm sure it's a challenge that everybody, not only special education, but the entire education system has to kind has to kind of check on, make sure that everything's going the right direction for those kids. So we're talking with Tucker Hight, the incoming high school principal at Wayne Community Schools. Who'll be starting his duties there next year at Wayne Community Schools. He's currently the assistant principal at the elementary school and also the special education coordinator here for Wayne Community Schools in the elementary area. Wanted to talk a little bit about Providence Medical Center in Wayne. They're proud to announce the addition of a new surgical procedure that is now offered at the hospital called shoulder arthroscopy. This surgical procedure is for those who have rotator cuff injuries where the surgeon inserts a tiny camera and the necessary instruments through small incisions in the shoulder rather than doing an open procedure with a large incision. Dr. Joseph Caro specializes in orthopedic surgery for Providence Medical Center. He is also the team physician for Wayne State Athletics and offers his expertise at a number of high schools here in the area. For more information, check out Providence Medical Center's website at www.providencemedical.com. That's Providence Medical Center, extraordinary care rooted in compassion. Here on the Voice of Wayne America podcast, this time around, we're talking with Tucker Hight, who is going to be moving across the street, down the road a little bit to Wayne High School. He is currently the special education coordinator and the assistant principal here at Wayne Elementary, and next year he will be the high school principal at Wayne High School. And I know that the job descriptions for all of those jobs that you are dealing with. Are all those a little different?
Absolutely.
What is it about the high school principal job that you're looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to just kind of getting to know those kids up there a little bit. I've been out of the building for 4 years, but I know a lot of those students, whether I've coached them or I had them when I was up there or at the elementary school, and so it's good to get to know them again. But I'm really excited about I want to create opportunities and experiences for them. I want to create more job shadowing experiences, internship experiences, maybe some community service experiences, because I feel like those really build character in these students. I want to get them skills and skills that they can take with them outside of high school, when they can take to college, when they can take with them to the work field. And I think that those are those soft skills that really stay with the student and really become lifelong learners. And then, so that's one thing that I'm really excited about looking into, and just creating different experiences and opportunities for every kid in that building up there.
Yeah, and have you had a chance to talk to Mark yet about the position and get some feedback or get some advice on
Mark Hansen, you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, I haven't yet. No. His job's really busy. My job's really busy. So we just haven't had a chance to just sit down and just kind of. I haven't had a chance to pick his brain, but I plan to try to find a time to sit down with him and just pick his brain a little bit about things that are going really, really well for him, and things that if he had a couple years, what was his left? What would he like to do in the next couple of years that he never got to able to do, or something like that? So yeah. Yeah,
I know Mark was a very active supporter of a lot of the stuff there at the school. Mm-hmm. I think you saw him at pretty much about every event. I know he was really big into the wrestling program, and was a big supporter of the wrestlers over the years too. So it's I know that there's probably a lot of stuff beyond the day-to-day stuff, the stuff behind the desk in the office that goes with that position.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the gig that goes along with the high school principal. You get to go to all those events and all those activities, whether it's extracurricular and sporting events, or it's the musical coming up, or one act. That's the fun part. You get to see those kids outside of the school. And it's fun to interact with them outside the school walls and see them where they're passionate about, and whether it's the musical or the one acts or sporting events. And so it's fun to talk to them the next day about how well they did, and that's exciting. I know Mr. Hansen, he was a big wrestling guy. He was a wrestling coach, and he really liked wrestling, and that was awesome. But that's kind of the high school gig. I'm really excited about going to those events. I'm excited about taking my kids to those events because I want them to be around them growing up when they're little here, and so I want them to see all the different things that kids can do and have the opportunities to add. And so I'm really excited about all those outside of the school hour activities. Yeah.
Now in my own personal experience, I only got sent to the principal's office once. And our principal back then, he was an Army guy. He was a no nonsense kind of guy, and he made my experience in the principal's office very, very uncomfortable, to say the least. Is that what kind of do you have that plan in mind of being a tough principal, or are you one of those who are can try to work more with the kid and try to get him to see the light on his own?
I do. I really feel like they always consider the principal a disciplinarian, and I don't really view the principal as that. I want I view the principal as an educator, a teacher too. And kids come to the office or they're struggling. I want to teach them how to act appropriately. I want to teach empathy. I want to show them what's right. I'm not one that yells and screams and you need to do this.
You don't have a board of education?
No. I've heard of those. A board of education right behind the principal's desk, and that's what they used back in the day.
Yeah. Well, it's I know that the job has got to be a challenge for no matter what level, where you're elementary or high school. There's a lot of issues that kids have to deal with, and that's I can't imagine how much of a challenge that can be sometimes for somebody who's going in the position you're going in.
Yeah. No matter what population you're dealing with, kids always have challenges. Here at the elementary school, they have completely different challenges than they do at the high school, and so it'll be sad missing these kids and not seeing them, and all the hugs and smiles and high fives and fist pumps you get. But going up there, they're going to have different sets of challenges that we got to work on and help them out the best we can.
Yeah. So at what point will you be making the move then from the elementary to the high school? Then will that be at the end of the year?
End of the year in summertime. I'm going to let Mark just kind of do his thing. He needs to end his career the way he wants to end it, and I'm not going to step on his toes or anything. And I'm going to let him have a smooth transition out, and he can get out of his office and building whenever he can, and I will just get in when I can, and I'm not going to push him out by any means. He's been here for 15 years, and he needs to have a good end to his career.
You bet. And you've been here for what, 8 years now?
8 years now. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that last day here will be somewhat emotional for you as well.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah. The kids, I enjoy the kids here. Some of them have heard that I'm moving over to the other building, and they were sad. And some of the older ones, 6th graders, were pretty happy because they're like, "Oh, we get to see you then again next year." And so that was nice. And so one thing that was really nice this year is my daughter started kindergarten, so it was nice just seeing her at school every day. Not every parent gets to go to take their kid to school and every day and work with their kid, and so that was pretty nice. And so I always joke with my wife that the next time that I'm in the school with her, she's not going to want to see me. She's going to avoid me because if I'm still there at that time, she's going to be a 9th grader or a 7th grader. I see her in the junior high. She's going to be avoid me beyond belief. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, she's definitely not going to want to get sent to the principal's office. We're talking with Tucker Hight, the assistant principal at Wayne Elementary and the special education coordinator here. He's going to be moving across the road here next school year. He'll be the high school principal at Wayne Junior Senior High School, and hopefully a nice long hitch there. Hopefully we can have you around as long as Mr. Hansen's been there. It's been great working with Mr. Hansen over the years, and looking forward to seeing you over at the high school next year.
Good, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited too.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Voice of Wayne America podcast here on WayneAmerica.com. I want to thank Tucker Hight for sitting down and chatting with us. We'll do another edition of the Voice of Wayne America podcast here on another time here on WayneAmerica.com, so check it out the next time we get a podcast up here on the website, and keep updated on what's going on in the best town of all of America, and that's right here in Wayne America. Have yourselves a good one, and we'll see you later.